Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of Let's Talk About It. It is April the 1st, a Tuesday night, and we have Miss Nancy Greene here as our guest. So please welcome Nancy. And Nancy, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, hello. My name is Nancy Greene. I'm a mother. I have a 23-year-old and a 28-year-old, and I'm semi retired. I work part time at night, and I make my own schedule. So I pick the nights that I want to work. And so that works out good for me. I like cooking and gardening, and I love music and spending time with my family.
Great. So you say you work at night. Do you mean like second shift 2 to 11 or overnight shift?
Well, I no, I clean a building, and I make my schedule to do it. So I just go, usually go around 7:30 or something like that, and work until I'm done. Usually 5 or 6 hours, work till I'm done, and then I don't do it every night, but I do it a lot of nights, and it depends on what they have going on there. If they've had events and things like that, I may have more work to do. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, I just go whenever I, am able to go, and whatever works out good for me. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Hmm.
We have Jace over on your channel. Welcome, Jace. When I was much younger, I worked for a real estate guy, and he rented out office space to the Army, Marines, Air Force, all of the recruiters. And part of that renting that building, we had to provide the janitorial services.
Yes, that's
And
what I.
so the person that we had ended up not doing it very well, and we had to let her go. And so for a while, I did it as well as my regular job just so
Okay.
we could keep it, going. So I totally
Yeah, how it is.
understand doing that kind of thing. But I am glad that you get to pretty much set your own schedule and do it when
Yeah.
it's convenient for you. I
Yeah.
really don't like when we have to have a set schedule and do
I
things
know.
on somebody else's timetable.
And it's
Okay.
at night. Nobody else is there, so that's good.
Yes. Go ahead and tell us how you started your channel on YouTube and how your experience has been so far.
Well, I just like to make videos, and I like the process of making them, coming up with the ideas, and I enjoy the scripting, and I'm just now learning editing. I've gotten a little bit better at that, so that's fun. And I just like to make videos that of things that I need help with, and hopefully if I make a video somebody else might be helped by it too. And I try to throw in a little entertainment every now and then too. So I just do it for fun and as something extra to do. That's mainly it.
Well, that's good. That's a good outlook to have on it because it can become a job if you
Yes.
let it. And I think
And
some people
I
have,
put a lot of hours into it. I actually
yeah.
do.
Well,
And sometimes I think, wow, this is a lot of work right here. I've got a big thick books full of stuff, and I'm like, wow, I'm not getting paid for this, but it's fun, and I'm doing it for that reason mainly. So
right, right. And you may get paid for it eventually. You never know.
yeah, it could
So
happen.
we've got Brit Family Fun on your over on your channel,
Hey,
and
Rhonda.
Lisa from Married in Arkansas just
Hey,
joined on my
Lisa.
side. Welcome. So, um, I know that you're about my age group. And one thing that I try to do in my personal life and here on YouTube is to get people to realize that just because we're of a certain age doesn't mean we're not of value, that we don't have plenty to share with people.
Oh, that's so true.
And I really think it's up to us to kind of say, hey, look at me, ask me questions or whatever. I tell my
Exactly.
daughter all the time, you're going to make your own mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes in life, but please try to learn from the mistakes that I've already made and
Oh,
don't
yeah.
make the same ones that I've made. Make your own mistakes. If you're going to make a mistake, make a big one.
Yes.
But I don't want her, going down some of the same struggles that
Oh, I
I've
know.
gone through, you know.
It's so hard to watch them when they do some of that stuff, you do, but you have to let them. And, because when I was young, if somebody said, oh, no, don't do that, well, that was the very thing I did.
Exactly. And I know I didn't believe my parents when they would tell me I was young once. I remember being a teenager or whatever, and you think, now you don't know what I'm thinking
That's
or
right.
whatever. But it is kind of true. Sometimes you have to see things for yourself
Oh, you do.
before you'll, really understand it. And I know a lot of things that my daughter will say now in her 20s that when I told her in her teens, she was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And now
Right.
she's like, Mama, you were right.
Yeah.
Yes. So, do you have any grandchildren?
No, I don't have any grandchildren.
No grandchildren yet. Okay.
Not yet,
Well, I will tell you, it changes your life.
I'm
Um,
sure.
I thought that I loved my daughter with all I had to love, you know. And
Right.
then my granddaughter came along, and it
Oh,
is like your heart like just grows this new space for that
mm.
grandchild. And because it's your child's child, it's like 10 times more special.
Oh, wow.
We have Rudy just came in on my side, and Snapback Trishana is over on your side. Hello,
Hey,
Snapback.
Laura. Hey, thank you for coming.
So, it really is different. You want things to be different for your grandkids because now you're not working, like I'm not working full time. And so I have a lot more time to spend with her and do things with her that I didn't really have um with my daughter,
Yeah.
because I was working full time then. Let me
Okay.
see. We have Texas, Regina, Diamond, and Diamond and more. That is Miss Regina Gooch. She just finally started her channel, so
Oh,
she
awesome.
has got some content now. Let
Awesome.
me make sure that I have this streaming over on my other channel. So I was kind of watching that chat just to make sure it was running on there, which it is. So, um, and Regina is my newest member also. So welcome, welcome. But I think that when we have kids and grandkids, we just naturally want better for them than what, we had in our lives. We've got
Yeah.
Hannah M over on your side. Hi,
Oh,
Hannah.
hi, Hannah. That's my daughter-in-law.
Oh, well, hello, hello.
And she has just started her channel as well.
Oh, my goodness. What is her channel? I'll drop the link.
I'll let her drop that or tell you what that is
Okay.
because I'm
If
not.
you're on, if you're on my side and you want to drop your channel, you can do hashtag echo and it will drop your channel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Well, she hasn't said yet what it is, but if she does, I will go get her link and I will drop it so
All
that
right.
people can sign up to her. And if
Mm-hmm.
you do come in on my side, I've got Miss Nancy Greene's link pinned at the top of the chat. Please go over and get to know her channel. And if you want to watch from over there, that's perfectly okay. That way she'll get the watch time for it as well. All right. So, what kind of videos are you doing? Oh, it's called uh, handmade ADT. Okay, I'm going to try to
She's
find
a
it.
crocheter, but she does a lot of different things. She's also an artist, a great singer. She's just multi-talented.
Oh,
And
wow. Now, this is your daughter in law.
daughter-in-law, and she probably will be adding more things like that to her channel as she goes. You know how you when you first starting, you're kind of getting into your niche and maybe you adding new things and doing new
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an interesting person.
Okay. HAMADEA. Nope, nope, nope. I don't want to spell it wrong. I keep looking at her name and not the actual
I,
channel.
I'm afraid I would
MAD.
say,
There we go. Then E T TRY. Okay, I think I got it. Well, no. Maybe it's handmade artistry. I think she
oh,
may
it's yeah, HANNMADE artistry.
have. Okay. HANNMADEARTISTRY. Yes, finally I got it.
Okay.
I don't. My fingers are too big for the keyboard, and
I got big fingers too. I know
I
what you
kept
mean.
hitting extra letters in there, so I apologize. But I
Oh,
got it now.
thank you for doing that.
Okay. Now let me get back over to my channel. Oops. So hard to do it on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't know how people go and do lives and everything just from their phone. I can't. I can't do it.
I'm on my phone right now.
I get messed up. I'm like, no, no, no. I need a computer.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got it in there. Okay. So if you want to come on my side to grab her link, you're welcome to do that as well. And I don't know if you want to try to drop it on your side or not.
Oh, who me? I have no idea how to do that.
Okay. So, what kind of content do you put out? I know you said you like making the videos and editing and all that, but are you making content that is
Well,
what kind of content?
my content is it's just a lot of it is helpful tips kind of thing.
Mm.
Let's see, I think I did one about my biscuits because some people said they wanted to see a video about my biscuits because I talk about my biscuits. So I make a video like that. Every now and then I'll just throw in something different, but most of the time it's like a how to, or how to overcome anxiety, that kind of, helpful tips type thing. I'm thinking of branching out a little bit and doing some different things though. I don't know for sure yet what.
Well, I know when I first started my channel, I was kind of like I was going through my divorce, and um, I had been married 29 years, and then all of a sudden got divorced, and so there was a lot of grief there that I had to
Oh,
work through. Even though he wasn't dead, he was gone, and so
yes.
it was hard. So I first started doing that, kind of like, okay, let's try to help people with grief. And then as time went on, I realized that no, I don't want to live in the past. I want to, live my best life. So
Right.
then I started, doing more like, okay, what can I do to go ahead and pick up the pieces and make a life, for
Excellent.
myself.
Yeah.
So I know we wanted to talk a little bit about how we're going to stay relevant as ladies as we age.
Hmm.
What are some of your opinions on that?
Well, I think just, taking care of ourselves, our health, our mental health, and our physical health, trying to stay healthy, keep moving, physically moving. I find that if I sit around too much or whatever, I get I don't feel good and I get some pains, and the more I move, the better I feel. That's important. I think it's important to, watch your diet and try to eat healthy as possible. Of course, I have my little, what do they call that? Your guilty pleasures. Like,
Yeah.
like I love sweets and chili lime takis, but I try to stay away from those. I've been trying to stay away from that kind of stuff lately. And I just recently, and well, 5 years ago, stopped drinking. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke. And I just recently gave up vaping because I had started vaping. So I had to stop that. I have to say, I do relapse a little bit every now and then on that, but I'm working on all that stuff. I feel like, staying relevant and just really involves a lot of health issues as well. So, you
So
know,
did you start vaping to help you quit smoking,
well,
or is
I
that
haven't
just
smoked
something you did
cigarettes.
later?
Actually, I haven't smoked cigarettes in a really long time. I have,
Okay.
I smoked cigarettes when I was young, but I had given that up probably about age 30. I gave that up. And then vaping hasn't been out that long, and I really haven't been doing it that long, but it's very addictive. And I just don't like being controlled by something. That's really the main thing.
Yes.
Um,
I
so,
have a
but
very good friend that has smoked for all her life. She's in her 70s now, and
mhm,
she has tried so many times to quit
I know
smoking. And
it's really,
then she started vaping, trying to cut down on the cigarettes and do
yeah,
more, vaping and stuff. And she still struggles. It's a everyday struggle on
it is.
whether or not she's going to smoke. But I smoked when I was in my 20s and 30s,
Yeah,
and then I quit. But like they say, you're only one cigarette away from being a
that's
smoker
right.
again. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And it's the same thing with drinking, and it took me, that was a journey to quit drinking. The first little bit there, it was really hard. But now I'm to the point now where I don't crave that anymore. I have absolutely almost, an aversion to it at this point. I got something in my eye.
uh-oh. Hi, Els Endeavors. Welcome. Um, I never did really drink a lot. My ex-husband liked to drink beer, and so I was always the designated driver. So
Yeah,
because I didn't really care to drink.
right.
And if I ever could have found a drink that really tasted good, then I probably would have had a drinking problem. But
Yeah.
most everything either burned or just tasted bad, and I just,
Well, that's good that you didn't like it.
yeah, it was kind of like, what's the point to do that?
Right.
So
And
I never
it's
had
just an
that problem.
awful thing. All
Um,
it does is cause pain and suffering, really. Well, for somebody who has no cutoff, and I didn't have a cutoff. So I'm sure I caused so much pain and agony, not only to myself, but to everybody around me. So I'm like, this is just absolutely not worth it.
yeah, but I think all of us have things that we do to help us cope with
Yes.
situations. And that was one thing when I quit smoking. I didn't have as much trouble the first time I quit because I was really sick with pneumonia and I was in the hospital.
Oh,
And the
wow.
doctor was like, "I hope you know you've had your last cigarette." And I was like, "Okay." I couldn't even breathe. So
Oh,
the
wow.
idea of having a cigarette was like, no. And then by the time I got out of the hospital and got to feeling good enough that I could have even tried it, it had been long enough that I really didn't want it.
Yes.
And then a couple months later, I found out I was expecting. And I had always said if I ever, was expecting, I would quit. So then I was like, okay, I'm already quit. I'm expecting. I won't smoke. But my husband still smoked. And so when the baby was about a year and a half old, we got into an argument and his cigarettes were laying on the kitchen counter, and I just picked it up and lit the cigarette. And I mean, I wasn't even thinking about actually smoking. I was
Uh,
just mad, and it
right.
was kind of like a reflex. I just saw
Exactly.
it and picked it up. And so then I had started back smoking. And
Oh.
so I smoked for about a year and a half. And then my little girl was in preschool, and they told them about drugs and alcohol. And she came home and she told me that smoking was a drug and it was going to kill me. And I was
Oh.
like, oh my gosh, I've got to quit now. And I knew I could do it because I had quit before.
Right.
So then I
Yeah,
went
that
home.
that would do it. Your little child telling you.
Yes, yes. And so I just took where I was, like, I wouldn't smoke in the house, I wouldn't smoke in my car. And then I got to where I would only smoke on my breaks at work.
Yeah.
And then eventually I had one pack of cigarettes and I would lock it up in the locker at work, and I would only smoke them at work. And then after, when that pack was done, I said, this is really ridiculous because you don't really even want it anymore. You're just doing it, because you still have it there.
Yeah, the habit.
So I said, okay, I'm not buying anymore. And I haven't smoked since. And that was when she was 3. So she's 28. Is she 28? 96? Yeah, 28. So, or she'll be 28. Anyway, over 20 years I've been quit.
That's good.
So I feel like any bad health issues from that hopefully have gone
Yeah,
away,
hopefully
because
we healed up.
they say that, your cells regenerate. So hopefully
Mhm.
my lungs have completely regenerated.
Yeah.
Now, before I lost weight, I had a lot of breathing issues, and I would get so short of breath. And if I got a cold, I would wheeze, like asthma, and just, terrible. But
Mhm.
I've noticed now, since I've lost weight, I'm not doing that now.
That's
So I'm
great.
hoping I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, and I'm hoping to get off of the one breathing medicine. And I'm also hoping to get off my blood pressure medicine, because
Oh,
my blood pressure is actually low now.
that's
And I'm
good.
hoping I'm hoping she'll say, okay, we don't need that one anymore either.
Yeah. That's
'Cause
amazing. That's wonderful.
yeah, I was taking like 19 different prescription drugs before I had my weight loss surgery.
Mm.
And now I'm down to about 9. And there's a few that I'll never probably be able to get off of. Um, like, I have a low thyroid, so I have
Oh,
to take a thyroid pill every day. And I will probably always have to take my acid reducer for my stomach,
yeah.
because that even gets worse when you have the sleeve surgery. So I probably always will have that. And of course, I have a lot of vitamins and minerals that I take, but
Mhm.
at least I'm not having all the side effects from all the prescriptions. Now, I heard you on another live stream talking about how you didn't take any prescription medication.
No,
That is amazing to me.
I don't even have a doctor. I don't even go to the doctor. I went to the doctor when I had my babies because I wanted to.
Well, you've been very lucky then if you've not had any kind of, illnesses or anything go on that
Yeah,
you,
I have
that,
anything. I don't know it, so I feel good. So I guess I'm okay.
yeah, oh, you would know.
Yeah.
Most things that go wrong with us as we age, you pretty well, have
Yeah.
symptoms. And you may think, I wonder why this is happening. Now,
Yeah.
with me, I had so many side effects from all the different medications, that what I thought were the symptoms of the problems that I have, a lot of that was actually side effects from the
Right.
medications. So
Yeah.
now that I'm able to start getting off of a lot of that, then I'm finding out, okay, this wasn't as bad as, I thought that it was. So.
Right. That's good. I'm happy for you.
Oh, I'm tickled to death, because I don't know how, at the rate I was going, I don't know how long I would have lasted.
Oh, yeah.
Probably not really long. I
Mhm.
was maxed out on all my diabetic medication, and that's what really I kind of got scared when my granddaughter was born, a little over 3 years ago. And I realized, hey, you need to get serious about your health because you want to be here to see her grow up.
Right,
And
exactly.
and then when my doctor said, "You're pretty well maxed out on this medicine," then I was like, "Oh, what happens then? If I can't take any more medicine and I'm still not getting my sugars under control, then what's going to happen?"
Right,
And
right,
so I had a couple of friends that had the weight loss surgery done, and so I talked to my doctor and said, do you even think, because at my age, I was like, watch them say you're too old already. And so I was like, do you think I would be a good candidate? And she said, with everything that you've got wrong, almost all of it will be improved by
oh,
having the surgery, by losing weight, you know. And she knew that I had tried everything on my own and nothing, would
oh, I
stick.
know. It's awful. I know. I'm in the
Yeah.
process right now of trying to lose some weight, and I'm doing intermittent fasting and OMAD. I just sort of alternate with that, and I'm having some success with that. So, and I just want to do it slowly. You know, I've
Well,
done it
and
all my life. I've had to worry about weight, so I'm kind of tired of that. But I feel like, the OMAD's good because I eat one. If I eat one good meal a day, I stay pretty satisfied. You know,
mhm.
so that's working for me right now.
And
But
that's
my
high, that's kind of high protein too, right?
I don't eat meat, but I eat beans and lentils and nuts and seeds, stuff like that for the protein. And I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of sweet potatoes and carrots and broccoli and broccolini and all that kind of stuff. I eat just a lot of vegetables. So you do get some protein from that, but I take supplements also, and I take a multivitamin. I take hemp oil for my joints. I take a collagen supplement, and I take turmeric. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. That was one thing that I had to learn, going through the process of having the weight loss surgery, is that, they always tell you when you go on a diet, make sure you eat protein. But
Yeah.
I didn't understand that your body's got to have protein in order to function properly, and it
Hmm.
can't burn the fat if it doesn't have the protein to do that.
Yeah.
So it was, pretty much like a awakening for me to realize that, okay, this is why I need the protein. Now
Yes.
I understand. Now because to me, if you want to cut back on calories, protein has more calories. And so it would be easier to not have as much protein, but it's very important. L Endeavor says, Nancy, with OMAD, are you doing 16/8 or no particular time?
I've been doing well the last couple of days. I've been doing just OMAD basically, which is basically a 24-hour fast every day. But today I'm doing 18/6. I'm going to do that for a few days.
So, and when you say you eat one meal a day, you eat that all at one time?
Yeah, I just eat a meal, just a regular meal at like noon, around noon.
Uh-huh. And then you're
And it's
not
hard for a
you're
couple of days, but then you just get you adjust to it, and you don't feel it after a couple of days. The first couple of days, you're like, oh my gosh, I want something to eat. I'm so hungry. And like I said I did a video about it, and I said in the video, I said a couple of times through this journey, I did get up and go get some cheese out of the refrigerator and have some cheese a couple of nights. But because I had to, at night I get a little anxious. My thoughts start going, and so I had to get some cheese a couple nights. But that was only like 2 or 3 nights from the whole time I've been doing it, and it didn't really mess me up that bad.
yeah. Now, what are you drinking?
Water.
Do you drink any coffee or
I have
tea?
coffee in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes in the afternoon I like to have a cup of tea, hot tea.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I like to put milk and sugar in that, but I do just put in the cream and leave it off the sugar. So, but I don't always have the tea in the afternoon.
Hmm.
But
But
sometimes
now
I,
if you're on the fasting part of it, you can still drink the water.
yeah, I drink, yeah, I can have all the water I want. I drink
Yeah.
tons of water. And you can have black coffee, but in the morning I have coffee with cream, and I don't put I just put cream in it. And
Yeah.
for um, for the tea, I just put the cream in the tea. I don't put any sugar in either one. But I don't do the. But if I did the tea with the cream, that would break the fast. I could have the plain tea, but I just like cream in my tea. So I
Yeah.
use if I'm gonna have it, I just go ahead and just put a little bit. You don't have to put as much cream in your tea as you do your coffee because it's lighter.
Right.
So I go ahead and put a little bit in there. But I
So
don't
like,
have
tell us what's an average meal.
um just like, okay, I may have I eat a lot of beans and cornbread. I love beans and cornbread. So I may just have a bowl of pinto beans or great northern beans, and I have a piece of cornbread with it. And I put a little bit of chow chow in my beans and a little bit of mayonnaise, and I mix all that up and I eat it with the cornbread. That's one meal that I like a lot. Then sometimes I love greens. I love collard greens. I love to make collard greens or turnip greens, all kind of greens like that. And I love sweet potatoes. I make a baked sweet potato a lot of times. And a lot of times I will just chop up a variety of vegetables like carrots and cabbage and onion. I just stir fry it maybe. I might make a little bit of rice to go with that. That's a meal too. And sometimes I would just in like for the morning time, if I'm gonna do two meals, I might just have some kind of nuts, like almonds or cashews or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then have a little smaller meal after that or something. I mix it up so it's not boring.
Yeah. Well, that's important. It's got to be
Yeah.
something sustainable that you can do,
Yes.
you know.
And beans are, oh my gosh, that's what another reason I love all kinds of beans is because they have so much fiber. You're full forever, and you don't have to even eat very much of them
Right.
to
Right.
feel full. And they're such a good nutrient. They are full of iron and potassium and I don't know, protein. It's a protein source also.
Yes.
And yeah.
Okay. Snapback is asking, what is chow chow?
Oh, Chow Chow. Oh, she must. Okay. Trishana. Okay. Chow Chow is like, it's like, it's like pickled cabbage. And it's kind of like kimchi in a way, but you can either get, you can either get sweet chow chow or hot chow chow. I like sweet chow chow I like spicy food, but for my chow chow, I like sweet chow chow. It's just chopped cabbage turned into this little pickle relish kind of thing. Do you know what it is, Echo?
Yes.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
and I was going to say, there's a lot of studies about the fermented food being
Yeah.
really good for your gut health.
Right.
So that's good that you're adding that. If you add that in with your beans, then that
Yeah.
not only gives you some flavor,
Yeah.
but it also gives you good for good gut.
Probiotic.
Um, I fell to sleep. Y'all laugh out loud. Okay.
Oh, we're not that boring, are we?
Oh my goodness. Um, Brit Family Fun said they like both kinds of chow chow.
Oh, me too. I really do too, Yolanda, because I like the hot too, but when I cook my beans, they already have a bunch of Cajun seasoning in them anyway, so they're already spicy. So I usually use the sweet chow chow in that because that kind of offsets or goes along good with the spicy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my biggest thing is because I've had the sleeve surgery. I don't have very much room to eat very
Oh,
much at one time.
that's what I was
So
thinking.
I have to measure what I eat, and I still cannot eat like two or three different things together. It's like I eat one thing, and then a few hours later, I might eat another thing. And I mean, I still cook it together like a meal, but I just can't eat it that way
Oh,
yet. I have
thank,
to, unless I just did like two bites of each or something.
right.
So that's where I'm trying to. I don't have any foods that I have to restrict or that I can't have, but I'm finding out that certain foods make me full, more full faster.
That the fiber does, doesn't it?
Yes. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of things that I'm like, gee, if I really want to eat that, I can only have, just a couple bites of it.
Right.
And then I have to, lay off of it. But I try really hard. Hey, Mimi's Place. I try really hard to make sure that I eat the protein first. And then if I want a vegetable or fruit or, whatever, I'll eat that, later on. I've tried really hard to stay away from the carbs. The pasta, rice, and potatoes, all three take up a lot of room in my
Oh,
stomach.
I
And so
bet.
if I eat those, it's like that's all I can eat. A
Oh, yeah.
little bit of that.
So
So
how much, what size, like your, for your protein, what size do
um,
you eat chicken?
I can usually eat about 3 ounces at a
Okay.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Probably
That's a good
4 ounces.
portion.
Yes. Like 4 ounces, which is half a cup, would be like my max on
Right.
anything at one time. But of course, things that are softer, or more liquidy, they don't take up as much room as like if you're eating um, chicken or, roast or, something like that, it definitely takes up more space. So you have to really chew it up and take small bites. And I feel like sometimes I'm trying to pack a suitcase.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, well, this little bit will fit in that corner, and this little bit can go over here.
But
Um,
really, that's probably the way all should be eating. Just little portions and like, you know, I know that there's a lot of cultures, or even back in my day, we would eat in like, you would have one course, like you would have a little salad, and then you would have the next thing. You would eat
well,
in course, kind
but
of. And
before I
that's
had the
fun.
surgery, whenever I would go out to eat, I would think whatever the portion was, that I ordered, that was about the right size, portion to eat.
Yeah.
Now that I've had the surgery, I can get like 4 meals off of one meal. So
Mhm.
I always try to get something that'll hold up good and I can reheat it,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. And I'll just go ahead and I'll make about 4 different meals out of that one thing. Or we've learned, like when I go out to eat with my daughter, a lot of times she'll just get like an extra side, and then I can have some of her main course and a little bit of the side or whatever. And
Yeah.
then that way I don't have to have my whole meal.
Right.
Because I really don't like doing that, taking home the leftovers, because it has so much salt in it.
I know
That's
it does.
another thing. I don't eat very much salt. And so, I mean, I blow up like a balloon when I've had salt. And I get weighed almost every day. And when I have eaten, whether it's fast food or just cooked in a restaurant, I'm like, how did I gain
Yeah.
2 pounds overnight? Well,
It
it's
was
not two
salt.
pounds, it's the salt, in the water.
Yes.
So I definitely, when I eat what I cook for myself, then, I don't have that issue. But I still haven't learned how to cook really small portions.
I know
So
that's hard.
a lot of times I end up portioning it out and freezing it. I leave a couple portions in the refrigerator and hope that I'll eat them in the next couple of days, but the rest I'll put up in the freezer. And my daughter will come over and I have like 50 million little containers in my fridge. And she's like, for one person who doesn't eat very much, you sure have an awful lot of food in your fridge. And I'm like, well, see, you don't want to eat the same thing all the time.
Right.
And even like I'll make a scrambled egg and I'll use like a fourth of a cup of egg whites and one whole egg. And then I like to put either chopped up tomatoes in it or onions, or sometimes
Mhm.
I'll make like onions, mushrooms, and bell peppers, saute those. Then I like to put some of those in my scrambled eggs. So even though I'm only making like 1.5 eggs, it's too much by the time I add the vegetables. So
Yes.
that's still, even though I'm cooking at one time, that's still two portions for me. And I
Right.
haven't figured out how to do just, and I guess if I left the egg white off, but the egg white gives you a little more protein. So,
Mhm.
but anyway, So I'll have like one serving of that, which is good in the morning. You don't have to make another breakfast,
Yeah.
so that's good. But she'll laugh at me when she comes, and she'll like, you have all this food in here. But then again, too, when I'm watching my granddaughter during the week, she eats whatever I eat. If I fix something for me, I know she's going to eat a couple bites of
Oh,
it. She might not eat a whole portion of it,
yeah,
but she'll eat some of it.
that's good.
And I've got her eating all the fresh vegetables and fresh fruit, so it's kind of like I fix it and then either I'll eat it or she'll eat it, or, we may have a snack and eat it together, or it's in there ready to go the next day or whatever. But it
Yeah.
does look like I've got an awful lot of stuff in there.
Well, I have a question for you.
Uh
Do
huh.
you feel like you enjoy your food more now, or you did before you had the surgery? Are you actually enjoying eating more now in this way?
I think I look more forward to try, like, I love asparagus. Okay. And every time I would go to the grocery store, the asparagus was outrageously expensive and
Yeah.
I would not buy it. I would on purposely say, I'm not spending that for the asparagus. Well, I went about 2 weeks ago and they had it on sale for $1.99 for a good sized bunch of it. And I bought that and I cooked it and I ate asparagus every meal for like 3 days to eat up that bunch of asparagus, but it was so good. Then
Yeah.
when I went back to the store, a different, totally different store, but they were running a sale and they had theirs for $1.99, and I bought it from them and made
Oh,
it
wow.
and did the same thing. And I just enjoyed that asparagus because it's not something I have,
Mm,
all the time.
right.
But I think I do look more forward to trying different recipes and trying to see how healthy I can make it and still taste good, that kind
Right.
of thing. And I don't really eat, I only really eat turkey, chicken, beef, and fish. I don't eat like any pork.
Mhm.
Um, and I did notice that the other day at the store. I was like, I wonder if I could eat a pork chop. But then I don't really like a pork chop unless it's a fried pork chop, and I really shouldn't do that. So, you know.
Right.
And I think before I was so sick all the time that I ate just to be eating. It didn't satisfy me. I didn't enjoy like the taste or the
Yeah.
textures. It was just like, here's the food, eat it. And I
Right.
felt I felt so lousy that I didn't want to do anything. I had no
That-
energy,
yeah.
and so now it's like that I have energy. It's like you want to keep eating how you're eating because you see
To
that
keep
it's making you feel better.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
and my daughter's asked me that before too. Don't you get tired of the same stuff? And it's like, but I don't eat it the same way all the time. You
I've
know,
noticed
I
I fast, when I fast, my food tastes better and I enjoy it more. So,
oh yeah, and your taste buds change too
yes.
when you're not, especially when you're not having a lot of salt. That salt really changes your taste buds. So
Mhm.
that's one thing I have noticed now too. Um, like I used to love McDonald's French fries. And so I had got my granddaughter a Happy Meal the other day, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try one of those French fries. That thing tasted like it was just coated in salt. And I was
Yeah.
like, I said, why? Why would I even put that in my body? So I
Mhm.
didn't even eat it. I was like, no, I'm not
Not
eating
to
it.
mention what else is in that
Oh,
thing.
I know. I know. Hi, Chef Hit Dice. He's going to be on Friday at 5 o'clock. You need to let us know what you're going to cook. I'm so excited to have him cooking for us. Um, but it's just a lot of things. It's like food is not that important. It's important for the nutrition. It's not that important for the social aspect, or like I don't look forward to going out to dinner like I used to.
Right.
Um, like we went out for my birthday. I love Red Lobster. And so we went out for my birthday, and I got what I wanted, but I couldn't eat very much of it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
ended up having to bring the leftovers home.
Yeah.
But I still go and I try not to make other people uncomfortable. I just kind of tell them, don't look at what I'm eating. I'll eat and then I pack it up to go because if I leave it sitting on the plate, I'm like going to keep trying it, even though I'm full, and then I'm going to be in pain. So it's like I have to go ahead and pack it up and put it, to the
That's a
side so
good.
I don't pick at
Yeah.
it. Okay, he said, "Did you hit me up on Facebook?" I thought that I had. Let me go on Facebook and see. Whoops. I'm pretty sure I did. But I have one good friend who she had the surgery a couple months after I did. And she actually had the same clinic and the same surgeon that I had. And so she and I can go out to dinner and we can share something
Oh, that's
because
good.
neither one of us can eat very much.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of nice. But then I have another friend who she hasn't had the surgery and she doesn't, get it either. And she'll be like, where do you want to go? And I'll say, it doesn't matter. I'll find something. Korean cooks. Okay. I'll find something I can eat there. Don't worry about me. You get what you want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Kareem A. Cooks? I think that's the one that I am following. Let's see if I can.
I cannot see my chat, so I don't know who's
I think
here.
um uh hmm, EZRIAYAH Scott is on your
Ezraya.
side.
Oh, hello, Ezraya.
Is Raya. Okay. I
Ezraya.
always have trouble pronouncing people's
Thank you,
names.
me.
Okay. But I think I am following you. We'll have to see. I know I sent you an email. Okay, wait, just Kareem Cooks. Okay, let me go to that one. REEM Cooks.
See if I click on this.
Well,
Oh, wow. Now I can see my chat. I just clicked on this thing.
okay.
I don't know how to use this thing, but I'm gonna have to learn. I'm letting it intimidate me is what I'm doing.
I don't
Hello,
know why.
everybody. Thank you for coming to my channel.
Okay. See if you can see this, Kareem, and see if I'm in the right place because that's what comes up when I do Kareem Cooks. I get Kareem A. Cooks.
I think I'm so behind now I can't catch up with everybody. Thank you, everybody. I love you. I see L, L, and hmm, Yolanda, Bells and Stars, Clint. Hey, y'all. Kareem.
Okay. Oh, let me try that. Do you live in Atlanta?
Me?
Oh no. Wait.
No. Oh,
YouTube. Okay, I found you now. Add as a friend. Okay, I didn't have you right. I didn't have the right person. I got you now. Now check yours. You should see a friend request from me in a minute. Okay.
Hey, Chef hit dice. All right.
I'm not real good on Facebook, so
I'm not on anything but YouTube. I used to be on all those other things, but I'm not anymore. I haven't been on Facebook in, I don't know, 20 years, probably.
well, I I have a
Hey, she,
Facebook, and I have a Facebook for my channel, and I post, just nonsense kind of stuff over there, but I don't really do a whole lot with it. I'm trying to get it set up to where I can actually stream over on Facebook too, but for some reason I don't have it set up
yeah,
right.
I thought you could.
Fishy things, fishy things is here.
Hey, fishy.
Okay. So anyway, I am glad that I met you and all these, and the Gen X effect is here also. And I met all of y'all through the source. Um, he is a total nut,
Yeah,
but I like him.
I like
And
him.
when I first send you the link on Facebook.
I like everybody. I like that everybody's different. Everybody has their own way and on their own channel, their own content, and it's so diverse. You can't get bored because there's just a little bit of everything, you know?
Right. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot of channels that are like in the same little niche thing, but
Mm-hmm.
every person makes it unique because of their own personality, um,
Thank you.
and what they bring to their channel. So I
Right.
don't get bored either, and I love meeting new channels
I do
and
too.
um,
It's fun to
seeing.
get to know everybody.
Yeah, and see everybody's point of view, and what people like and don't like, and to me it's just a lot of fun. I was over on a channel today, and they were saying, they were actually talking about another channel that they know that has grown pretty fast in the past couple months, and they were like, I don't think my channel is going to grow like that. And I made the comment, you have to get out there and meet people. And
Yeah.
it's not just to meet other channels, but you might meet subscribers off of other people's channels that will like your content as well, and they'll
Right.
start following you.
That's right.
So, and she was kind of like, well, I want to grow organically. And I'm like, I don't really understand
That's
what
what
that
I say too.
means.
Like slow organic growth. That means like you want somebody to watch your channel just because they like you, or because not
Well, but
because
what I said was, if you don't put your content out there and expose it to people, they're not
yeah,
going to know if they like you or not,
right.
you know? And I'm kind of like, when I go to a channel um, that I haven't seen before, I'll watch some of their videos. I might pop in a live stream or whatever, and I'll kind of decide, if I like them or not before I ever even subscribe to them. And
Mm-hmm.
then once I'm subscribed to them, then I try to keep going back and
Yeah,
watching,
I do too.
but I don't ever shout out a channel that I don't watch, that I don't
Yeah,
personally like,
right.
because that to me is asking for trouble, because
Mm-hmm.
people are going to look to your recommendation. And if you start recommending crazy stuff, they're going to be like, well, I'm not going to even check these people out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I want people to check out the people that I meet. So it's kind of
yeah,
like, I make sure they're a good channel before I recommend them, to
yeah,
somebody else or whatever.
right.
Um, but I know a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just subscribe and keep going.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do a
That's
lot of
what's so
short.
great. If you go in a live and you chat it up and you get a bunch of subscribers from that live, like say you got 10 subscribers, A couple of days I'll look and those 10 have dropped back off. Because
Yeah,
also, if the person doesn't, if they subscribe to you and then they don't go ever watch anything, YouTube's going to take it off. So I think that's
right.
what happened. Because one day last week, I lost 10 subscribers within an hour. So I know 10 people didn't decide in 1 hour to unsubscribe from
Well,
me,
and
you know?
and also, hi, Scrub Buster Outdoors. Um, I think what happens too is that if they don't watch some content, it won't stick, and YouTube
Yeah.
will take it back
Yeah,
off.
they do. Yeah.
And so, and also when somebody subscribes to you, you should wait 24 hours before you subscribe back to them
Yeah,
so
that's a good
that
idea.
it doesn't make YouTube think that it's just sub for sub,
Yeah, I
you
hadn't
know.
thought about that. That is a good point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and I tell people all the time, your subscribers are going to go up and down, up and down. Hey, Rodney and Melissa Evolving, welcome. You know, it's going to come and go up and down, but most of the time you will see a steady growth, even though you might lose a few, then you'll
Yeah.
gain some back, and
It's
then you'll
like
lose some, and
it's like this.
yeah.
You know,
And so eventually, you know, you'll see that you'll start to make some traction.
yeah.
But
I
now
don't
what?
even worry about it anymore. When I first started, I kind of got into that hype and, oh my gosh, I got to do this and that, and I've got to watch my analytics. Now I just say, okay, I have a nice posting schedule. I'm going to post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If I feel like going live, I'll jump in and do a live. And then I'm just not. It cannot be a stressful thing for me. I
Yeah,
don't do stress anymore at this point in my life. That's another thing about being older. I refuse to be stressed out anymore.
yes,
I've
yes.
had a whole lifetime of it. So now I'm just chilling and enjoying my life. And
And
if
you
it
know,
started to be stressful for me, I wouldn't do it anymore.
right. And I think a lot of people, you have to figure out what works for you when it
Yes.
comes to your posting, when it comes to what you're watching, and
Yes.
all of it. You really have to have that balance of
Absolutely.
what works for you, and not the same thing doesn't work for everybody. You
That's
know,
right.
there are some people who post once a week, and that's all they're ever going to post is once a week. They
Yeah.
don't want to go live. You've got other people who only go live that very rarely ever post a video. You know, you've got people who do both. And I
Mhm.
really think, like, because people ask me, well, you know, I want to get my subscribers and I want to get monetized. How do I go about it? But that's the thing. You have to figure out what it is you want out of it, and what are you willing to put into it, you know. And if you don't want to do that, then you're not going to be successful at it. But then what's your idea of being successful, you know?
Exactly.
you
It's
know
your
so
success.
it's kind of like when I started out, I never thought about being monetized. I
Me,
never even thought it
I'm
was a
not even thinking about
possibility.
that. It's, right.
I was like, that's not why I'm doing this. You know, I'm doing this for myself because I have reasons I want to do it. And then also, I want to have those videos so that my daughter and my granddaughter can go back and look at them, you know,
Exactly.
years down the road. They'll be able to say, oh, yeah, you know. But if you want to, and I had somebody ask me the other day, tell me the truth, can you make money on YouTube? And I'm like, yes, there's money to be made, but what are you willing to do to
Exactly.
make that
Yeah.
money?
Uh-huh. I know, right?
You know,
That's what,
that's what you have to decide.
and I just
Because
want to do what I want to do. I don't want to, do a bunch of crazy stuff.
Tracy's local learnings, hi there,
Hello,
welcome, welcome.
Tracy. Hello,
um,
Tracy.
and I think that's the key to it, is because you have to enjoy what you're doing or you're not going to do it. You know,
Exactly.
what's going to end up happening is you're going to say, you know what, this is a job. I don't want a job. I want something
Exactly.
fun. And if it's not fun anymore, then I'm not going to do it. And
Yeah.
and there's so many ways to go about it. That's what I love about YouTube. There is no rule. It doesn't say you have to do XYZ to
Right.
be successful. You know, everybody's going to go about it their own way. And to me, that's what makes it interesting.
That's right.
Scrub Buster Outdoor said that his is mostly hunting and it's not everybody's. favorite thing to watch. And that's true. But they may like you and your personality, and they don't care what it is that you're doing, you know? And so I think it just depends on um, what you want to do. And he said, I made my channel for my grandkids to watch after I'm gone. Exactly. I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of us doing that. And Rodney and Melissa said, I told Melissa, if it stops being fun, we will stop posting.
That's right.
Exactly.
I know,
Because
right?
it's not worth it to be doing something. And this is the thing. Somebody told me, oh, if you want to be successful, you have to post videos that people want to watch, not videos that you want to make. And
Yeah.
I said, well, I can't post a video that I don't want to make because I'm
That's
not
me
going to
too.
make it,
Right. Me too.
you know? So
Hmm.
if I'm posting videos that people don't want to watch, that's okay. But I'm not going to post something just because it's trending or somebody
Exactly.
else got successful with a video like that or whatever,
Mhm.
whatever, whatever.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
not me, you know,
Me,
and I'm
me.
not going to do that. And also, at first, people told me, don't talk about God. Well, God's a very important part of my life.
Hmm.
And if I can't talk about my faith and my belief in God, then maybe YouTube isn't the right place for me.
We're right.
And
That's
and
what they
most
call.
people, they don't care that I talk about God. If it's not, if they don't believe or they have other beliefs, they just kind of overlook that part and keep on going
Yeah.
because I do other content as well. But
Right.
to me, I wouldn't be being true to myself if I wasn't able to share that part of myself. But I'm not
Exactly.
going to be a preacher. I'll never be standing up doing a sermon and preaching at somebody. I love reading from different little inspirational type
Yeah.
books
Yeah.
because I can't read the Bible and understand what they're talking about half the time. So I like to have somebody else explain it.
Like Max Lucado, don't you?
Yes, I love Max Lucado. And if he'll explain it to me to
Hmm.
where I can understand it, then I can go back and look at what it says in the Bible, and
Right.
that's good. But I can't just pick up the Bible. Some people just pick it up, open it up, and they know exactly what it's talking about. Not me.
Right.
But I've had a lot of things happen in my life that strengthen my faith and make me, where I do believe. But
Yeah.
to me, that's a personal relationship with God, and
Right.
it's what I believe. If I meet other people along the way that believe the same, wonderful. If I
Yeah.
meet people who believe something else, I'm open minded enough to say, well, tell me about it. I don't know. And
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, well, it's so black and white. It's like, if you believe this, you can't do this. I don't look at it like that. I look at it, there's a lot of gray areas, and you can be spiritual and not be religious,
Hmm.
you know.
For sure.
And there's just a lot of things like that that I kind of think, hey, um, if people don't like it, they don't like it, which
Oh,
none
well,
of us are going to be
you know.
everybody's cup of tea. Everybody is going to say, yeah,
That's
okay, no, that's not for me. And then somebody else's channel, they might be, yeah, fishy thing says, deny the Father on earth and he'll deny you in heaven. Exactly. And I let my fear of losing subscribers or not getting views in the beginning keep me from saying what I really wanted to say.
okay.
And
Yeah.
and then one day I just decided, you know what? If my YouTube career is over because I'm going to post this particular video, then it's over.
Yeah. You
But
have to do what you want to do and be
yeah,
yourself.
exactly. And I'm just trying to learn myself to know what it is I want to do. And that's part of being relevant to me is
Yes.
there are so many things to learn. When I was growing up, it was all about you're going to get married and raise kids.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And then it was like, society shifted and now it's like, look, you're going to raise kids and work a job. And
Mm-hmm.
then it seems like it shifted again to where, it was all about keeping up with everybody financially. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm in a place in my life where I want to know who I am. I want to know what I like. And I want to do all the things that I didn't have time to do when I was working. You know,
Right.
I mean, I want to travel.
I know it's so much more fun now, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, even just I'm going to take a trip next in June down the road about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and meet someone I've not met before, but that I've been talking to. And
Yes.
then I'll only be about 2 hours from my sister's house. And so I'm going to go see my sister. Now, before it would totally stress me out, the idea of doing that trip.
Oh,
But I am so excited.
that's good.
And I'm like, yes. And my sister's like, well, what do you want to do when you come? And I'm like, I don't know. And I don't know how long I'm going to stay or anything yet. But yes, I don't want to stay home all the time. I want to go and do and see and just really enjoy life. And I think we can let ourselves get bogged down into how much money do we make and how much, things do we have. I would get rid of everything I had
Me too.
if I could.
Me too.
A lot of times I think about it, I could live in one room as long as
Me
I
too.
had a bathroom. It's like sometimes I think I live in a one bedroom apartment, but sometimes I'm like, it's too big for me, just me. You
Yep.
know, I could do with less.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know how people do it that live in big houses by
I
themselves.
don't know, but I'm so much happier than I've ever been in my life. It's talking about being older and everything. It's really a free feeling time to me. I feel well. Your children are grown, and I don't have the husband to deal with anymore, so that's a plus. And I just it's like I'm just free. I just feel completely free. I just have started. My mother passed away a few years ago, and I went through a grief period, so that was hard. But
Yeah.
now I'm kind of coming out of that a little bit, and I just feel like wow, this is fun. I can just kind of do what I want to do, and it's really an amazing feeling.
See, and I've always felt like I had to take care of other people,
Me too,
you
honey. Yeah.
know, and that whatever I wanted or needed, it didn't really matter as long as I took care of everybody else's
Yes.
needs and wants.
Absolutely.
And now I'm realizing that if we don't take care of us, who's going to take care of us?
Hmm.
Nobody's going to take care of us.
That's right.
Hello, Olivia. Welcome. Um, and it's like, I need to learn about skincare. I have never worried about skincare.
Me either.
I need to be doing it. I was asking somebody the other day, they did a makeup video, and I'm like, am I too old to learn how to put on
No,
makeup?
you're
And they
not.
were like, no, you're not. And I'm like, I wouldn't even know what to buy, yet alone
I
how to
know.
put it on my face. But it's things like that
Mhm.
I never took the time or the money to invest in things like that for
Right.
myself.
Me
You know?
too, honey. I know. I know exactly how you feel.
And so now I'm like, yeah, why not? And then too, since I've lost weight now, when I was at my heaviest, I wore whatever fit, you know. You
Hmm.
couldn't always go in a store and buy something, so I ordered out of catalogs a lot, and a lot of
Yeah.
times it wasn't exactly what you thought you were getting, or
Yeah.
it just didn't fit the way you thought it would or whatever. So now
Yeah.
I have a rule. I don't buy anything without trying it on, and I never would wear long sleeves because I was always so hot natured. And
Hmm.
now this past winter, I about froze because I had nothing long sleeve wise. I didn't have
Oh,
sweaters. I didn't
yeah.
have anything. I was like, I got to put my bathrobe on because I don't have anything warm to cover up with. And so now it's like, I want things that have sleeves. I want a sweater, you know. And so I'm like, well, what is my style? You know, I don't even know because I've never really worried about having a style. I
Oh, I have
wore what
mine
I
is
could wear.
t-shirts, shorts, t-shirts, shorts, and pants. I've got a closet full of just t-shirts.
Well, that's one thing I've got to do is I've got to go through my clothes. Of course, a lot of them are way too big. I've got to get rid of those. And then I've
Mm,
got to figure out what it is that I need. What do I want? But then again, I don't want to buy a whole lot yet because I'm hoping to lose more, and be able to buy even smaller. Now, my daughter just gave me like 4 dresses, and I really was excited, and I tried them on and they all fit, and I was like, okay, great. But then as I was wearing them, it's like they're too big in the shoulders, and
yep,
it was pulling over too much, and I'm like, they're really too big. But I've never really wanted to wear clothes that fit, you
me
know.
either.
I've always
Hmm.
liked to have it a little baggy, a little loose.
Yeah, yeah.
And so now that's something I'm having to realize that, oh no, I actually need it to fit like it's supposed to fit. This shirt that I have on says living my best life.
I
And
hear.
one of my friends from Canada sent it to me. I just got it today in the mail.
All right, go
Um,
girl.
and she was like, well, I hope that it fits. And I said, well, if it doesn't fit, hopefully I'll lose enough so it'll fit. And it fit perfectly. And I was
All right,
like, yes, I'm so glad.
there
I will
you go.
definitely be wearing it.
There you go.
But it's just, it's just like this is the first time in my life that I really care about me and what I want. And at first I was like, oh, you are so selfish.
Yeah, you feel that way at first.
Yes. And my daughter's like, no, you're not being selfish. You need to do for yourself. You need,
I think they actually appreciate it when we do stand up for ourselves, and try to do something for ourselves. I think it really makes them respect us more.
well, and I think too, because I had to set some boundaries with my daughter
Oh,
because I watch her daughter, my grandbaby. I've watched her from day one. My daughter's a school teacher, and when I had my daughter, I didn't have anybody to leave my baby with, you know.
me.
And
Hmm.
so I told my daughter, I said, I will watch her anytime you need me to watch her. But I want you to still have date night with your husband. If you want to go out with people from work, there's a party or, whatever. I want to watch the baby so you can have a social life.
Yes.
Well, it got to be where I couldn't hardly schedule anything for YouTube because I never knew what time she would come to get her, you
Yeah.
know?
Took you up on your offer, didn't she?
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, look, we got to have a schedule. We got to have some boundaries. And I go to the Y 3 days a week, and it's in the same town where my daughter lives and works. And I live in another town, which is about 20 miles away. And so I said, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll bring her back into town. And whatever time you're done, I'll meet you. And then I'll go on to the Y. And then on Tuesday night and Thursday night, you can stay after school however late you need to stay. And then you come pick her up. And because that's when they usually have their faculty meeting, is usually on a Tuesday night. But anyhow, so now it's like she knows I have my regular Saturday night thing. And
Uh-huh.
so, like, she wanted to have me watch her for Valentine's Day, which was on a Friday. But she wanted to go out on Saturday. So she wanted me to keep her Saturday night. And I was like, well, Valentine's Day is actually on the Friday, and I don't have a live that Friday night. I can let her spend the night. You come get her Saturday before my Saturday night live. And she was like, oh, well, that works. Okay. So I was like, I'll work with you, but respect the fact that I do have things I want to do, as well.
Right.
And so now with summer coming up, she's already given me the school calendar for next school year because my granddaughter will be going to pre-K and she will be going to the same school where my daughter teaches.
Oh,
So where now I get up every morning and go get my granddaughter, I won't have to do that. I will have to go sometimes in the afternoon and pick her up. And then on days that the kids are out of school, but the teachers have to go, I'll have to watch her those days. So she has a couple trainings in June, and I know I'll have to have her the last week of July before school starts. But it's like, I want you go ahead and you tell me these things. Let me put them on my calendar, and then that way I can plan, what I want to do around that. And
Mm-hmm.
then that way you're happy and I'm happy. Because before I would never say anything. I would push my live back or I would cancel it or, whatever. And I'm like, no, no, no. We have to have that boundary. I don't mind helping you and I'll do whatever you want me to do, but I need to know when I can do what I want to do, you know.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And like she called me one Saturday morning really early, and I had stayed up late that Friday night, and I didn't have anything that Saturday morning, and I planned on sleeping in. And she called and she was like, "Well, we're out yard selling. There's a really good yard sale, a community yard sale. You should get up and come over here." And as much as I didn't want to, I wanted to go spend time with her and my granddaughter. And I love going yard selling. And we ended up spending the whole day together, and it was wonderful. But I had in my mind, I was sleeping in, you know, but I didn't know she was going
Yeah.
to want to do that,
Yeah. I was just saying,
Morgan
good
in
morning there.
movement. Hello, Morgan. But yeah, I really think it's time for us to, just live and
Spread our
enjoy
wings and
our
fly.
life, you know.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I was divorced after 29 years. I was single for, gosh, about almost 8 years, I guess, a little over 8 years. And then I
Mm-hmm.
met someone and I dated someone for a little
Oh.
over a year. And I finally came to the realization that I'm better off by myself
Oh, really?
because this person was controlling and, they wanted to put constraints on what I
Oh,
wanted to do. And I
yeah.
said, mm-mm, nope,
Yeah.
I've lived for other people long enough.
Exactly. Well,
And I
how did you
said,
meet the guy? Did you go meet him somewhere, or you went on an app or something?
I met him on YouTube.
On YouTube.
I don't recommend it at all.
Wow.
Um, you know, especially men, they will tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
And after a while, they can't live up to that. And then they start letting their true colors show. And then it's kind of like, okay, is this really what I want? And I feel like if I really wanted a partner in life, I would have been willing to adapt and make that work. And as much as I was unhappy in that situation, the more I realized I'll be a lot happier on my own, doing my own thing. I think after being alone for so many years and after the divorce and everything, I really didn't want to be in a relationship. But it's always nice when somebody likes you, and somebody pays attention to you and you're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But I didn't think with my brain. And it took me a while to figure out, hey, wait, why am I feeling this way? This isn't right. This isn't what I want. And so I finally had to end that, which was hard because I did meet an awful lot of his friends on here and I didn't know how that would go. And a lot of them I've become very good friends with, and I didn't want to put them in a position where they had to choose to be his friend or be my friend.
Yeah. Right.
And most of them have understood, and some have even said, well, I noticed this or I noticed that, and I'm like, wish somebody would have told me, and then I would have known. But I haven't lost anybody that I really care about, so
Yeah.
that's good.
That's good.
But I don't recommend meeting someone on YouTube, especially if they have a channel, because it will be a conflict. And it's It's not something that most
Did you
people
ever
want to
try
deal
dating?
with.
Did you ever try dating apps?
No,
No.
no. I'm kind of afraid of the dating app thing
Yeah.
only because I don't feel like people will be truthful. You
Yeah.
know, I really would like to meet somebody at church or the grocery store or, just an everyday kind of person somewhere out in the world, But
Yeah.
then again, I will date. I will not live with someone. I will not get married. I will, you know, enjoy the person, but not let that become my life. I want my own life, you
Yeah.
know. And
Absolutely.
a lot of men, they want you to do what they want you to do and not what you want to do. And
Mhm.
you have to decide if that's what you're looking for or not, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm glad, and a lot of people have told me, well, I'm glad you were strong enough to realize you made a mistake. It wasn't what you wanted, and you got yourself out of it, and you're moving on.
Yeah.
And that's true because I stayed in it a little longer than I needed to, only because I didn't really know how to end it. I had never really ended anything.
Yeah.
And I definitely didn't want to hurt the other person. And
Right.
I just couldn't figure out exactly what to do and how to go
Oh,
about it, you
yeah.
know? And and they would always say, "Well, I'm in it for the long haul." Okay, well that's great, but if I'm not, you know,
Yeah.
so it was hard. It was hard to get out of it, but I learned a lot about myself and about relationships. And I know now that I don't need somebody in my life. I have
Yeah.
friends, I have family, I have interests that I like, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I don't go to bars. I've never been the kind of person that like went to places where my kid couldn't go with me or, you know, like I'd be afraid to take my mom in a place or whatever.
Right.
So it's kind of like I don't do anything where I'm going to meet anybody like that.
Yeah.
And I just don't really like the idea of somebody telling me what to do,
Oh, I
you
don't like
know.
that. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I understand.
and there's a lot of things that, you think, "Oh, it would be so nice to have somebody to go and do things with," and but then you don't think about all of that really entails. And then when you're in that kind of situation, it's like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, this isn't fun for me, or
Yeah.
whatever." And I mean, you got to be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest with anybody else
True.
you know and that was hard for me. And like my daughter finally said to me one day, she said, "You know what, it's time for us to quit lying to ourselves." And I was like, that's very profound for somebody your age to
Mhm.
realize that we do lie to ourselves,
Mhm.
especially when we're afraid to do something.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I don't need to do that, that's not necessary, no.
Mhm.
And it's true. We don't need to be lying to ourselves. If we can't be
Right.
honest with ourselves, we really can't be honest at all.
True.
And there's some hard truths that I've had to look at and say, yeah, that's true. That is true about me. And like even with my divorce, at first I was like, what do you mean you're not happy? What do you mean you want to leave? I don't understand. And I was like, I am not at fault. I did nothing wrong. But then the further I got from it, the more I had to realize that, it takes two people to have a relationship.
That's
So
true.
whatever caused him not to be happy, even though I don't think it was me or something that I did, I still had a part in it.
Right.
And so it's kind of like after a while you realize that It really, you wouldn't want somebody to be with you if they didn't want to be with you,
Oh, no,
you know?
goodness.
And
Right.
so it's kind of like, well, okay, if you've made this decision because you're not happy and you want to be with somebody else, that's fine. I can't force you, not to be with me or to be with me if you don't want to be. And I kind of understand now that I've gone through my relationship. I wasn't happy and I wanted out, and he wasn't happy and he wanted out. So I mean, I
It
understand.
was mutual.
I can understand it now. Where at first I was so devastated that I couldn't understand it. I couldn't wrap my head around the concept of it.
Hmm.
And that's why I push my daughter so hard. Keep your own identity. Don't just be her mama and his wife, and their teacher, you know. Be yourself first and keep that. Uh,
Yes.
because at the end of the day, when the kids are grown and the husband's gone, and, who are you stuck with? Yourself.
Right. That's another good thing about our age is, we've I think we are pretty comfortable with who we are now, and more confident than we've ever been, and just I don't know, that's something that I feel that I am anyway.
Yeah.
Is yeah, just I'm the most comfortable with myself that I've ever been, and happy with myself. But I would like to, you know, sometimes have some fun, go out, have a
Well,
beer, go to a
yeah.
movie. I don't know if people go to movies anymore. I don't even know what people do anymore.
Well, that's the thing. What do you do to go on a date? I
Mhm.
mean, what we remember doing probably isn't what, people
Exactly.
do now. So,
They
um,
don't have drive-ins anymore.
yeah, they don't have drive-in movies to go to, and they don't have dances, and,
Mhm.
you know,
That was fun.
yeah. I actually have thought, because I want to travel at one point, and this is even before I had to stop working, but I worked at Walmart and I worked overnight, and they'll let you camp out in their parking lot
Oh
if
wow.
you're in an RV or a truck driver or whatever.
Uh huh.
And I would like kind of fantasize because you'd see people, like pulling these big motor homes or driving the big motor home and having the car behind them or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's what I'll do. I'll meet
Yeah.
somebody that's already got all that stuff and is traveling around the world, and then I can just travel.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably never ever
That does sound fun.
happen. But to me, that would be a lot of fun. But I wouldn't want to be on somebody else's timetable and
Yeah.
have to be a certain place at a certain time.
Right.
My ex-husband, whenever we took a road trip, it was like you were going to your destination and that's it. So can't have no little side trips off here
Oh,
or there. Or if you
yeah.
see a billboard advertising something, you
Let's
don't
go
get off and
there.
go look for it. So that's the kind of thing I would do. It would be like, yeah, I know we have a reservation somewhere, but I want to go do this.
Hmm.
But
Yeah. Stop off at an alligator farm or go
yeah,
off. There's an apple stand or something.
yeah, that's what I would want to do. I'd
Get
want
some boiled peanuts.
and just go see, what there is out there to see. I like that kind of traveling.
Yeah, I like
I
that
don't
too.
like the 12-hour nonstop trip. Hey, the source is here. Welcome,
Thor.
welcome. I did not email you the handwriting, Rudy. I will email you. I made a video of it. I will email that to you. But I actually have it all ready to go right here in this card, and I'm mailing it out to you tomorrow. So you will be getting it. I don't know. Have you met anybody from any foreign countries that you didn't know before you came on YouTube?
Me?
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think so. I don't think I have. I may have a few from somewhere, but I not usually. I would like to open to that, of course.
Yeah. Oh, I love meeting people from other
I
countries.
know it would be fun.
I
Yeah.
just think it's so interesting because I've never lived anywhere but in the United States, and I've only lived in two different states. So, hi, Power and Redemption. Welcome. Um, so, I find it very fascinating. Even like Canada. Canada
Yeah,
is
I have
so
Canadian.
different.
I don't even consider them foreigners, though. It just seems like us.
Well, but they are.
I know.
And then I've met somebody in Belgium. I've met a couple people in Australia. I've met a couple of people in Sweden,
Oh yeah, I think I have Selena the Celestial. I think she's in somewhere in Australia. I do
and
know.
a couple in South Africa. I just met somebody the other day that's from New Zealand.
Oh, now that I think about it, I do. I know we have Jamaica,
A couple people from France.
Africa. I do have some friends in Africa.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm not sure what part of Africa, but I know there are some people in Africa that I um, am associated with. So yes, I now that I think about it, yes,
And I love the fact that we don't have to go anywhere.
I
And yet
know.
we can meet these people from all over
It's
and
fun.
talk to them and find out about their cultures and their countries and, how they think about the United States, how they think about us. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's fascinating to me.
It is.
I
Yeah,
love that. And I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't on YouTube.
I
So
know. That's right.
I really like that part of YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
What time is it right now? For me, it is 8:31 p.m. I think you're 3 hours behind me because I think you said 2 o'clock your time would be 5 o'clock my time.
It's sitting down a long time.
I know we need to wrap this up because we've been on for an hour and a half.
Wow.
I always plan to try to do an hour, but then if the conversation gets
Yeah.
going, then I don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But
After it
I agree. I'm surprised my watch hasn't gone off and said you're sitting too long. It's kind of annoying when I'm like trying to relax or something, and then it
I know.
reminds me, get up. Like, yes, I still have to go walk. I haven't done my 30 minutes today.
I haven't done my yoga yet. I have to do my yoga. I could feel it in my body that I need to do it, you know?
Well, I definitely have got to go and do my 30 minutes. I'm taking part in that 30 for 30 minutes, walking
Oh,
30 minutes for 30 days
oh,
challenge.
what is that? You have to do 30 minutes exercise?
You walk for 30
Oh,
minutes for
walk.
30 days.
Who's
Yeah.
doing?
Simply Katie Walks, and it was
Oh,
from March 11th to April 11th. And
oh.
then I'm going to do a chair exercise challenge starting hopefully this week. I'll be able to get things ready for it. But I'm going to do a little bit of chair yoga and a little bit of chair cardio.
Oh, let me tell you one thing,
Mhm.
Echo. We need to work on our balance exercises
Yes.
for our age. I've been doing in the yoga stretch that it's called tree, I think. Is
Hmm.
it where you're up like this, you can start like this and then you come out and then you go up, but you have one leg on your foot on your other leg. You know that pose I'm talking
Oh,
about?
so yeah, yeah.
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 And then there's one called, I think it's called some bird, hawk maybe. Anyway, you tuck your one foot behind your knee, and then you bend that leg, and you go stand like this, and you balance. You need to hold it for 10 seconds, but balance is very important for us. We can't forget to practice balance.
Yes, and see, I don't have any feeling in my feet from
Oh,
my diabetes, and so my balance is
oh my!
horrible.
Well, got you
It,
got
it's
to
getting
prone
better. It's getting better. The more I strengthen my leg muscles,
good,
the better
good.
it's getting. But I do agree with you. That
Yeah.
definitely is something that you lose because so many people think because we're of a certain age, we need to be sitting down all the time.
No, you can't.
Which
The opposite, the
is the
absolute opposite of
opposite,
that. Yes.
exactly. And
Yes.
so that's what I want to try to get people to realize, that it doesn't matter what kind of physical shape you're in, you still need to use your muscles and you need to move your body. And if
Yeah.
you're afraid you're going to fall, we can do it sitting down in a chair. And I'm going to start out doing it sitting down and
Yeah.
hopefully work up to be able to do
Ye-
it standing up.
Yes, honey.
Yeah.
Move any way you can. Just
Yeah.
start moving. And it sounds like you're doing a good job. So just
Yeah.
keep that
Because
up.
it's,
Try to find some kind of balance practice though. I know your
yeah.
feet problem, but
Yeah.
uh,
And
you know,
I'm sure there's, well, we can stand up and try to balance, and then we'll have the chair there to sit down if we need to sit down, you know.
yeah.
So, but yeah, that's what I've got to do, is try to work out what exercises, and I want to do a short video of the different exercises and then put it together in a video.
Oh, that's a
So,
good. Yeah.
yeah, that it's going to take me a little
I wanted to do
time.
a yoga video, but I'm too embarrassed.
Well, see, this is the thing. I need to do this for myself, and I
Yeah.
figure if I make it videos, I'll
Uh,
have to hold myself accountable to do
yeah.
it. And I don't care, you know, and that's the thing too. Before I lost weight, it was like my fat rolls are my business. Nobody else needs
Yeah.
to see them, you know? But now that things are shifting and things are moving around, you know, it's kind
Yeah.
of like it's there. So if you see it, it's okay that you saw it.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to encourage people that are in any kind of shape so that they don't feel bad. You know,
Right.
I mean, if you watch exercise videos of people who are fit, it intimidates you because you think, but I'm not fit like that. So I
Right.
want them to see me not fit and work with me to get
Right.
that way. So that's my
And they
plan
make
at
some
least.
really
We'll
cute
see.
workout stuff. They make cute workout stuff for us girls too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun because I'm going to be laughing, and you know, it's not going to be
If
serious,
you
you
do
know.
one, I'll do one.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds really good. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation. Thank you for being my guest, Nancy.
Thank you, Echo.
And everybody have a really good night, and we will see you. Let's see. I guess I'll be back. Well, of course, Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday at noon, and then Friday night at 5 p.m. for the cooking show.
All
So
right.
tune in and see what Chef Hit Dice cooks. I'm excited about that. All right. Bye for now.
Bye.